What happens to your mind when you die? Today you will discover that mind lives on. And where does it go? We will read right now from the ancient yoga textbook called Srimad Bhagavatam. So I will read a text from the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 29, verse number 60. And I will put a link in a description box for you so that you can also read more if you like. So the translation of this verse goes like this. The great sage Narada continued, the living entity acts in a gross body in this life. This body is forced to act by the subtle body composed of mind, intelligence, and ego. After the gross body is lost, the subtle body is still there to enjoy or suffer. Thus, there is no change. Purport, or the commentary by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The living entity has two kinds of body, the subtle body and the gross body. Actually, he enjoys through the subtle body, which is composed of mind, intelligence, and ego. The gross body is the instrumental outer covering. When the gross body is lost or when it dies, the root of the gross body, the subtle body of mind, intelligence, and ego continues and brings about another gross body. Although the gross body apparently changes, the real root of the gross body is always there. The subtle body's activities, be they pious or impious, create another situation for the living entity to enjoy or suffer in the next gross body. Thus, the subtle body continues, whether the gross bodies change one after another. So this is amazing, amazing text and the commentary, and I would like to explain it a little more so that you can really get the very practical idea what happens. In our last class, we were discussing what actually happens when you die. And if you remember, there was one text from Bhagavad Gita, which actually reveals the secret that the last thought you have in your mind will carry you, the soul, to the next destination. So now the question is about the mind, because we are studying the mind in all these classes so far. So the mind also does not die. This is very exciting, very interesting. According to this wisdom of the ancient Vedas, these yoga textbooks, which are very authoritative, the subtle body, which consists of mind, intelligence, and the ego, the material ego, does not die. It is not dissolved. It continues. So what really happens is that the subtle body, meaning the mind, together with intelligence and ego, carries the soul to another destination, to another body, practically to another body. And this is, of course, it depends on the activities that the person had in his previous body. So, for example, if now in this body of mine, I'm engaged in activities like very good activities, I always try to do good to other people, and I'm not violent, I'm honest, I just do things in a very proper and pious way. So then actually I can expect that this will carry me after this gross body dies, which will eventually. The subtle body of mind, intelligence, and ego will carry me, the soul, to another body, which will be a good body. So either another human body in a very nice situation, or even body which is in some higher realm. In this yoga textbooks is actually described that one can rise to heavenly planets where life is much, much better than here, or even higher. For those who are very spiritual, they will even go to the planets of the sages, where they can engage more in their activities of yoga and meditation. And then they can actually even aspire for the highest goal, which is to go out of this material universe and to actually go into the spiritual realm, to the spiritual world. But of course, we can prepare for departure to spiritual world already right now, right here in this body, in this life. And that, of course, is the secret of Bhakti Yoga. But let's go back now to the mind. So the mind will carry you farther. The mind does not die. But when describing this, I have to tell you another secret. The mind is actually like a prison for the soul. The soul, our real self, or we are the soul. We are actually imprisoned by this mind. And as long as the mind exists, we continue to exist in this material existence, which is actually existence full of pain and suffering, with a little bit of happiness here and there. But the real achievement of a human life is to become free, to become completely free from the mind. The real achievement is to completely dissolve the mind, because only then the soul can return back to the spiritual realm. And how is this possible? This is possible when one is fully engaged in a spiritual practice, which will purify the mind, the consciousness, and gradually dissolve all these samskaras, as I mentioned in the yoga textbooks. Samskaras are nothing else but the impressions or the memories in the mind, which we have from present life and from all the lives that we lived before. And I can tell you, as a hypnotherapist and past life regression therapist, that there is so much stored within our mind, and we can actually bring to the surface these memories of our past lives, and we can see there is so much there. But all these binds us to our material existence. And when we engage in a powerful spiritual practice, which will dissolve these memories, these impressions, then the soul actually becomes liberated. And the soul actually can goes back home to the spiritual world. Don't you want to do this? So I would like to ask you to click on another class so you can hear some more about these topics, and also subscribe because I will post many more videos.